Ready to go? Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to call the meeting to order, that being the special council meeting of Warwick Township Council, June 16th, 2025, and starting at 3:30. I remind council of disclosure of pecuniary interest or conflict of interest. Does anybody have one they wish to declare at this time? Seeing none. I also like to wish everybody, I welcome everybody that's joining us on our YouTube channel. And now I'm going to do the acknowledgement of ancestral lands. We acknowledge that the Township of Warwick is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, as well as the many Indigenous nations in Ontario, whose footsteps have marked them for centuries. We also wish to acknowledge that we are situated on Treaty 29 and Treaty 25 territories signed by Chippewa chiefs, and we offer our respect and gratitude for these lands. First off, council, it's not on your agenda here, but we have a few conflicts for next Monday's council meeting. And unfortunately, with the 1 week turnaround, we're not going to be able to put that meeting together. So I would be looking for a motion to cancel that meeting if I could, please. If someone, Councillor Manning is making the motion, seconded by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg. Any questions? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We're going to go to number 5 on the agenda, council, and that's council commitment dates. Does anybody have anything they'd wish to add to those dates today? No? Thank you very much. Councillor Morris, you can hear me okay? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's go to councillors' items and verbal reports. Councillor Westgate, do you have anything today?
No, I have nothing today.
Councillor Morris, do you have anything for today? Good. Councillor Manning?
I have nothing today, thank you.
Deputy Mayor Kallenberg?
I have nothing today, thank you.
Okay, the only thing I want to touch on is we continue to try to get natural gas expansion in our community. I had the opportunity to meet with MPP Pinsino last Friday for a couple hours, and we continue to see what we can do to get the province to provide the funding to make it more affordable for the people in Warwick that do not have natural gas. So we're continuing to work on that with him, and we'll keep that going. But at this time, there's still no new messaging from the province. We're hoping something will come soon. Also have a scheduled meeting with Enbridge coming up in July to talk about where, if that approval came from the province, where that the actual construction would start and end within the municipality. We're just trying to be proactive, and we're hoping for a positive message from the province soon. So I just wanted to update everybody on that. We continue to work at it. We continue to meet with our MPPs, continue to meet with the Minister of Energy's office. We've actually asked for another meeting with the Minister of Energy coming up here in the next little while. So we continue to push that particular piece of business as to make sure that we get that for the township. The other thing is I just wanted to send a shout out to the Watford Legion group. They had their President's Barbecue on Saturday night. Very well attended. Councillor Westgate was there as well, and we just want to thank them for putting on. It was a great community event and a great meal. So we're going to move on then, council, from councillor items. And we're going to go to staff items. I don't believe there's any staff items at this time.
None today. Thank
you very much. Let's go to correspondence, and our piece of correspondence, which is 7A on the agenda, comes from Mr. Mac Parker, and it's on the Parker Drain. Mr. Parker is with us today, and I'm going to invite him up to the front. He'd like to say a few words. Everybody has the letter that came from Mr. Parker. So we'll give Mr. Parker a chance to get up here, and then we'll let him make his comments. And then I'll go to staff, and I'll ask staff for their comments on where we are on this particular piece of business. So go from there.
I check here. A little bit in the dock. And we're on the ball spot.
So I'd like to welcome Mac to the council to the council meeting. He's no stranger when it comes to council meetings. I think he's done a few hundred of these in his time. So anyways, welcome to Council Mac, and the floor is yours to make your comments. So whenever you're ready, sir.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Thanks to Mayor Case and Warwick Township councilors for holding this meeting. The landowners that are here today is William Watson and my son Ivan and Paul Willems was unable to attend because of planting beans. And Robert Smits sent me a letter, which I'll read at the end of this presentation. First of all, we should not have to have a meeting this way, as this is a municipal drain. Warwick Council had Spreet Engineering draw up the plans. Banbury Drainage was awarded the contract, and the Warwick Drainage Inspector was on site on this drain. In regards to the Parker drain, I don't know, you probably have a letter there anyway, but I'm just going to run through it to try and hit the highlights of it, and we'll go from there. It's basically on the Parker main drain in the branch D, and it's on our east half of lot 29 and east half of lot 29 and the west half of lot 30. There are a number of issues that I'll bring up in a point form and we'll discuss, and hopefully we can resolve them in a timely manner. Branch D had 2 wet spots where existing clay tile were not connected to the new drain. Marshall of the Spreet Associates was contacted on March the 26th of 25, and him and Kyle, or your drainage inspector, walked the drain at a later date. Banbury Drainage showed up 2 or 3 weeks later during a rainstorm to attempt the repair. 1 tile in the east hole was found and repaired, but none in the west hole. No one ever told me what they found or did. We attempted to contact Marshall numerous times between mid-April and in mid-May with no response, as the holes were still wet. With no response from Spreets or Banbury Drainage, we used our own mini excavator to locate the 2 tiles that had not been connected. Due to the repairs not being made, we had no choice but to plant around those wet spots. Banbury Drainage arrived June the 6th after heavy rain to complete the repairs, causing much compaction and soil disturbance. Kyle was contacted on May the 9th, the 13th, and the 26th, and has pictures of the wet holes and the broken tile, and the 1 broken riser on a new catch basin. Kyle has always responded in a timely manner. I wish he'd been around at the start of the drain. I bring forth these issues to make council aware of the issues affecting our daily farming operation and to protect ratepayers and farmers from being taken advantage of. I am asking for compensation for digging up the 2 tile drains that were to be repaired. There was also a 2-week delay in planting our IP soybeans and the loss of an acre, so we could not plant. We now have 2 unplanted acre patches in the middle of the field where weed control all season will be extremely difficult. Now going back to when branch D was installed in August of 2024. The concrete tile arrived by truck looking in good condition. As they were moved by a payloader, many were damaged. The damaged tile were cut down so they could be salvaged. Pictures are available. John Comberg and Robert Smits were called to inspect these broken tile. That was in August of 24. All the cement tile cutoffs in the original branch drain that were dug up were buried in the trench and covered by backfilling soil. Under section C of the drainage page, Spreet printed out for the ratepayers, where an existing drain is to be removed and replaced in the same trench by the new drain. All existing tile shall be destroyed and all broken tile shall be disposed of off-site. Also under C13, in the same package, broken, damaged, or excess tile drain. On page 13, the contractor shall remove and dispose of all on-site, off-site, all broken, existing or new, damaged or excessive tile or tiles. This did not happen. And every time this field is cultivated, more pieces appear and have to be picked by hand. This will continue for many years as the frosts keep pushing them up in the trench. The grass waterway, which was reported in the existing drainage report by Spreets, as being in good condition. The fact is, after construction of the new drainage in a challenging wet summer, it is not in good shape. Banbury attempted to reseed on September the 30th of 24, which was the last day recommended by the drainage report. Two catch basins had a good reseeding result, two had nothing growing. As a result of the late seeding and heavy rains, one catch basin was completely filled with topsoil from the unseeded damaged waterway. We dug the soil out and managed to get one outlet unplugged by dumping 500 gallons of water into it, but the outlet remains plugged. Since that time, we put in 2 more 500-gallon tanks of water, and it's still not working. This is why this meeting is taking place today. And I stated here that the 1-year warranty is not June the 26th, it is October the 24th. So we still have a little bit of time. I'm sure we can come up to an agreement on all of the above issues. This whole drain experience has been very frustrating, to say the least. Banbury just seems to show up when it is too wet to work anyplace else. I have more photos and more detailed notes if you wish. Otherwise, I or my son will answer your questions. And this letter that I have from Smiths is a little difficult to read, but we'll see how we do it here. I am not happy with having pieces of tile. There are a lot of them. We are putting lots of time into picking them. Also, this drain, they drove trucks down the packed ground. And this is dated June 16th, 2025. I'll leave that with you.
All right, well, thank you very much for that, Mac. We appreciate that. Does anybody else want to speak to this as well today? No? Okay. So Kyle, I'm going to turn to you first, if I could, and just maybe ask you to speak to this issue and situation. I know you've been involved, and I do appreciate the fact that Mr. Parker did mention that you always respond in a timely fashion. That's terrific, but maybe not to put you on the spot, but I think you're doing some homework on this potentially. So I'll ask you to make a comment or two.
Thank you. Yeah, so I've reached out to Spreet on this specifically to get more detailed timeline on their side for a response to some of the questions, and also to confirm the warranty deadline to make sure I wasn't missing the window of time that was there. So I think we have a bit of time to organize a bigger meeting with Spreet and Banbury and ourselves and the landowners before the warranty period's up. So I should have more information soon to spread out.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. So it's not just being ignored, it's being worked on. The due diligence is being done. And you'll have more information and you'll work with Mr. Parker and the other folks, Mr. Schmidt, and I'm sorry, sir, Mr. Watson on this. So council, did anybody have any questions or comments on this time? Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I did tour the site when Matt called me back in the fall or summer in August. Yeah, and there was a lot of broken pieces. I did have pictures. I don't know if I still have them all or not, but I did take a number of pictures. So Mac is correct in saying those pipes are damaged.
Okay, very good. Then anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, I guess Kyle's continuing to work his way through this, and we'll work with the Parkers and the other landowners. And something will be brought back to council sooner than later, I guess, once you had the opportunity to do your due diligence. So unless anybody else has any other comments, I guess we'll wait and see what comes out of your due diligence and your meetings with the landowners. Is everybody else good, or does anybody else want to make any other comment at this time? Okay, seeing none. Well, thank you very much for coming, folks. And we'll work through this with you, and something will come back to council in a timely fashion. So thanks very much for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So council, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to number 8. And we have three pieces of business that we have to tend to today. The first is 8A is a report that came from Stephanie. And it's on waiving the 50% first-time vendor fee for the market. And there's a recommendation that Warwick Township Council approves waiving the township's 50% share of vendor fees for the first-time vendors attending the first Watford Summer Market. Stephanie, did you want to touch on this just a little bit?
Sure. Thanks, Mayor. The thought behind this was to try to attract some more vendors. We currently have between 10 and 15 attending each market, and those vendors that we do have are quite good. But we thought maybe by waiving a 50% of the fee for the first time market goers, it might try to incentivize some new vendors to come out. So council did previously approve 2,500 toward marketing towards the market, but we were successful in receiving a grant through Community Futures Lambton, and that amount has actually covered all of the costs towards our marketing and promotional materials. So there wouldn't be really a loss of funding directly to us outside of what we budgeted for.
Okay, so everybody's clear on that the money we put into the budget, we have now received a grant that basically covers those costs. So it's a matter, and we're not talking a lot of money here either, are we, Stephanie? We're talking, what are we talking about in dollars and cents for somebody coming the first time at a 50% discount?
Right. So currently, nonprofit vendors and vendors under the age of 18, they don't pay a vendor fee, nor do the food trucks. So we are only looking probably about $200 to $400.
Councillor Manning.
Yeah, and I like that idea because honestly, it's not like we're having a loss of output of money. It's just a loss of intake. I know it's not really much of a loss. If we can draw new business, it'll generate business down the road. So, I mean, the market, I've been up there last time you guys had it. There's very little overhead. It's in a parking lot. It's not using our facilities much. So we're not losing any revenue on it, honestly.
All right, thank you, Councillor. Anybody else have any comments? Okay, well, there's a recommendation. I do think it's a good idea. Again, so I'll basically, I'm agreeing with Councillor Manning. It's good strategy, business to try to grow your numbers. So I guess I would entertain a motion. Thank you, Councillor Manning. Wayne, did you want to speak or are you seconding it? Seconding? Okay. Seconded by Councillor Morris. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you very much. I didn't know if he was giving me the peace signal or he was, okay, let's go to 8B if we could then, please. And 8B is a report on the BMX bike park berm removal. And the recommendation is that Warwick Township Council directs staff to contract all seasons excavating at a cost of $3,950 plus HST to repurpose the existing dirt berms at the BMX bike track regarding and making them into smaller, more manageable berms at the end of the day. So anybody have any questions or comments on this recommendation? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, just a question. So as they remove the berms, has there been any chat with Nate Smith on what it might look like? And then if we do move some of the berms, are we gonna maybe move it towards the next step? So we're not coming back and bringing more dirt in again and whatnot?
Thank you, through the mayor to Councillor Kallenberg. Have not had recent conversations with Nate Smith. Certainly happy to do that prior to doing any of this work, should we move forward. The idea is definitely that all dirt will remain on site for sure, regardless of how we move forward on future rec projects in that space. There is a purpose for that dirt. Right now, we're just looking at some smaller, more manageable berms, easier for our operations staff moving forward until we decide what those future next steps are. I would just add that doing this work now, not only will it save on staff time, operations time, but I think it will also just signal to the community that, this is the first steps in future rec projects for the space. Just kind of signaling, we're looking to move forward here.
Anybody else have any questions or comments on this piece of business? it's got to the point where it's a real tough spot when it comes to weed control with all those large berms and hills. And, I mean, we have always looked at that piece of land. We may need to use that piece of land when it comes to some future drainage work as well, to pipe underneath and to do too much. And then have to go back in and disturb what we've done to put maybe piping through there to bring drainage out of town. Wouldn't work very well either. So that's the recommendation, unless there's any other comments. I would look for somebody to make a motion. Councillor Westgate.
I was just wondering what you're gonna do with the little building that the Rotary put up there, I believe.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Westgate. No plans as of right now for the building. I think at this step, at this first phase, the building would just remain as is in its current location.
So maybe Councillor Westgate makes a good point, and I've had some discussions with Libro over the last little while about a community and where they've pitched in and so on. I think maybe we should have a discussion with them just to let them know what we are doing there. I mean, they deserve that for the investment that they've made in the community by putting that building in. So maybe Ryan, if you could have a chat with the folks at Libro and let them know what we're going to do if this passes today. And at least they won't be surprised by it. And they may even have an area where they might want to move the building or maybe offer something up. So that's great. Any other discussion on this? It's council's wishes on this particular recommendation. Moved by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg, seconded by Councillor Westgate. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, let's go to C if we could then. Let's go to 8C. And this is on the cistern drain maintenance recommendation. And there's a recommendation that Warwick Township Council approves the staff recommendation to award GLH Excavating Inc. the contract for cistern drain maintenance for $27,972.50, excluding HST. How does council wish to deal with this particular recommendation? Moved by Councillor Manning, seconded by Deputy Mayor Kallenberg. Any further discussion? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and joining us through the public on our YouTube page, this is a very short meeting today. So we're now going to end the public portion of this meeting and we will be going in camera. Council, I'm looking for a motion to move into an in-camera meeting of council pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended for the following reasons. Number 2, 5, 6, 9, and 11 of the Municipal Act. Councillor Westgate is making that motion, seconded by Councillor Morris. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you.